Yo, what's up, guys? It's KB. Thanks for tuning in to another video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel. If you like the content you're seeing from us here, be sure to smash that like button, click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future videos, leave a comment down below, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. And now let's get into another original video here on the Outside the Box Podcast YouTube channel.
Welcome into another episode of OTB College Edition. It's Uncle Deej and my nephew, Hoots, across from me. We're going to dive into the pandemonium that was last weekend and everything that went down in the college lacrosse world. And then we'll be looking forward to the weekend that we have in front of us. Do want to preface, sorry for the late episode. It happens sometimes. We got crazy lives over here. We had to bump things back a little bit this week. But this is not a regular thing, as you know. We're always coming through and doing our thing. So make sure that you are subscribed to the pod at DU Industries on Twitter. Yes, at DU Industries on Twitter, and then at Underground Industries everywhere else. Underground Industries on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. And then you can find it at DU Industries on Twitter. Make sure to follow my nephew, Hoot Sport Media, everywhere. Hoot Sport Media, real easy. Don't forget the .com. If you know, you know. And then, obviously, you can follow me on all platforms when you find them, because you can have my Twitter at SCS_nextgreat, and my Instagram is Uncle D's 12. You can find all my other socials through those two. Make sure you're liking and following all of the people. Don't forget about OTB Lax Pod, which you can follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the good places. And make sure you subscribe. That is where our episodes live. Also, some exclusive content from PLL Championship Series is over there. Some exclusive content with WLL players over there. And some other exclusive stuff from our flagship Outside the Box podcast. So make sure you are liking and subscribed, following over there as well. This episode of Outside the Box College Podcast is powered by our friends at 47, truly the best headwear and apparel in the game. And with their vast collection of collegiate gear, we'll make sure you're repping your favorite college lacrosse team all season long. So use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. Just make it count, as it's free, and start earning points on every purchase you make, and turn those points into free gear. Again, use our link in the description to shop with 47 and get a free shipping on all orders when you join the 47 family. Shout out to 47 for being a proud partner of OTB and the official headwear partner of Underground Industries. What up, Neff?
Not much. Just making it through the week.
Barely, you feel me? Dog, it snowed today again. And that's only crazy because it was 70 degrees on Monday. I don't need that kind of lifestyle right now. All I know is I'm going to get sick here pretty soon. So one of these episodes, I'm literally going to sound like I'm dying. Prefacing that to y'all now. My allergies are going to act a fool when that time comes around. I can just sense it already. But yeah, practice today was freezing. Like, it actually wasn't too cold. It was like 34, 35 degrees. But the wind was at like 25 mile per hour gust. It was awful.
Gross.
Just disgusting. But I mean, high school lacrosse has started for me. We had our first week of practices this week, so I'm super pumped about that. That's going a lot better than I thought it would. I only had 4 returners coming into this season, and we're back up to 16 guys already. Actually, wow. 17, because I had one guy not at practice today. Already back to 17 guys. Tons of first years, but they're also picking up extremely quickly. So I'm happy with that. We'll make do with what we have in front of us, and we'll make the best of our season, because that's what we do. And then college lacrosse was insanity this past weekend. There was so much lacrosse to watch this past weekend. Once again, full of NLL Champ Series and college of all ranks. Extremely hard to watch it all. But we did watch a good bunch of it, or at least peeked in on it from time to time. Before we dive into the absolute insanity that was this weekend, where were you this weekend? Did you catch anything exciting on the college lacrosse field?
I was down at the Air Force Academy for Duke Air Force.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember texting you at one point in that game and going like, how is he? And then you responded like right away. And I was like, how does he? And then I looked at the score and I was like, oh, he has more than enough time to respond.
Yeah, by that point, Duke was kind of winning every possession. And I was trying to get some stuff for Air Force. So I was like on the other end. And then they were at the other end just scoring goal after goal. And I was like, So, beautiful day, though. It snowed the night before. I was very, very worried because the streets were awful the night before. The day of, though, was great. Didn't like the fact that they pushed it back an hour and only put it on Twitter. Didn't want to, say anything. I feel like there should be a better way of doing that than just saying it on Twitter, but that's neither here nor there.
So you got there early.
Got there very early. Very, very early.
They feed you? They give you any kind of accommodations?
For lacrosse? No.
My bad.
The media room wasn't even open for lacrosse.
My bad.
Literally, I got there 2 hours early so I could deal with the people at the gate. Because they're strict. You got to get your little base pass.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, and there's no line. I get in right away. I'm like, okay, I'm 2 hours early. Like, that's fine. I'll get some pregame stuff. I'll hang out in the sun. It's like I was expecting 2 hours. And then I see the clock, and it's counting down. It says 90 minutes. And I'm like, I look at my clock on my watch. I'm like, that should be 30 minutes. Like, all of a sudden, I text someone else, and they're like, oh, yeah, I got moved an hour. I was like, so not only was I there 3 hours early, I had to leave in the fourth quarter so I can get back to Denver to go do the Mammoth game. Like, I thought I was going to have time to come home. Yeah, I thought I was going to have time to come home, relax a minute, eat a little bite of something, and then go. Nope, I had to go straight there, pick people up, straight to the stadium. So I wasn't a fan of that, but very good lacrosse from Duke. Wouldn't say the same for Air Force.
I mean, that'll make your boy Neil happy, huh?
He was very happy.
But I mean, really, should he have been that happy? I mean, how good has Air Force been this year? Like, or I guess it's one of those like your team went out and dominated like they were supposed to. So like, good job on them, kind of, I guess. But like, what else can you really say about that? Because Air Force gave them no kind of competition in that game.
Yeah, it was bad. It was. I mean,
I almost
you just felt bad at a point, like.
Yeah, I almost started watching it, and then like that was like right around when I texted you, and then I peeped the score, and I was like, oh, that is not worth wasting my time on.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got to see like a lot of stars show out a little bit, which was cool because you expect that. But they also shared the ball quite a bit because once you're up that big, you just kind of we had a long pole goal late in the game, which was cool. But yeah, I mean, Air Force just isn't. They're not a fun team this year, unfortunately.
I mean, maybe they'll turn it around in conference play. Teams that they are a little more comfortable against and are used to seeing it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They see Duke every year. They should be comfortable against Duke.
But I don't know why they play Duke, though. I don't understand. Like, that's...
That's actually a really good question. Maybe I
feels
think
like
Duke,
a David Goliath situation there.
Well, I feel like Duke probably feels like that's the service academy that's like the least threat, but is also like respected enough to like not be a terrible game on the schedule. But like, why are you playing those kind of chess games with your schedule anyway? Like at that point.
Well, and if you look at Duke's schedule, like the rest of the year, it's like tough teams. So like, why are we like you play this game and then you go play tough teams? I don't get it.
I mean, maybe it's just a little booster right before, make them feel good going into conference play. I mean, I ain't mad at it.
Do what you got to do, I guess.
Do what you got to do. The name of the game is winning games, and it don't really matter how you do it, how you set it up. You just gotta win them. Speaking of winning games, I think it's time we get into this weekend that was, starting with the first shocking result of the weekend. For the first time ever in program history, the Lafayette Leopards take down the Black Knights from Army. Did you see any of this game?
I did not.
I happen to have been able to catch a few glimpses of this game. Very uncharacteristic, bad game, in my opinion, from the Black Knights. They just didn't do the things they normally do. The Plunkett brothers were just blanketed, basically. Like they couldn't get anything going. But also, the offense just tossing the ball away, getting to their spots and just missing shots they normally cash in on. And no disrespect to Lafayette, their defense was absolutely phenomenal in the game. Their goalie stepped up big time. But at the same time, there's a reason they had never beat Army before. And Army did like basically everything opposite of what they always do in this game. And it really came back to bite them. On the flip side, Lafayette was great at controlling the pace of this game. They wanted to play a very slow game that was going to be low scoring. And they created that on both ends of the field. On offense, they didn't go before like 35 on the clock. They took their time, they set it up, they went when they wanted to go, and they cashed in on a lot of those opportunities. On the other side, they forced Army to also take their time getting into their offense, getting into their sets. And if they did go too quickly, it was just going to be a turnover, or it was just going to be a bad shot that they were taking the other way. Phenomenal game plan and execution from the Leopards.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. 19 saves to 10. Wild split there. And their offense really only had one bad quarter. Like Army, I don't know what you can maybe speak more to this, but like the second half, Army only having 2 goals after putting up 7 in the first half. Like,
you see what I'm saying? Like,
what?
They came out in the second half and they just like, it's almost like they forgot how to play lacrosse. Like they couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't win a ground ball battle. Their offense wasn't really communicating with each other. Their sets were sloppy. They weren't taking good shots. And the good shots they were creating, they were missing the net entirely. And I was like, what is happening right now? It was like they completely just fell apart at halftime. They went in the locker room and just traded jerseys with Mercyhurst. And and that was the squad that rolled out there. Like,
why is Mercyhurst catching a stray right now?
I mean, because they beat Hampton this weekend, and I wasn't finna say Hampton. That's literally the only reason. And also because that game was like 7-6 at halftime or something like that. Like Mercyhurst was literally in the trenches with Hampton. So yeah, they caught a stray there for sure. But yeah, Army just really couldn't put anything together in the second half.
Yeah, and I'm looking, I mean, goodness gracious. Their first goal in that third quarter was with 4:34 left.
Mm-hmm.
And the only goal they had in the fourth was with 2:03 left. What were they doing for the first?
Now, what I will say is that goal with 2:03 left was a clutch goal. Like it was
sure,
almost...
but what are you doing for the first 13 minutes of the quarter?
I told you, just throwing it away.
We're just doing cardio, bro.
Yes, they were just throwing it away. It was literally insane. That goal almost sent us to overtime. A very clutch goal. They needed it at that very moment. And it ended up being huge for them until, well, Lafayette went and did what they did on the backside.
That's wild to me that 2 quarters back to back you take 11 plus minutes off before doing something. Like
insane. You can't win games like that. I've said it. And it continues to ring true for the most part. And I say that because the next game I'm talking about also had a team with a quarter with one goal. Georgetown, Richmond. Richmond continues to prove why they're a top 2, maybe not 2 team in the country. They go out, they win another ranked game. They're 6-0 on the year now. They take down Georgetown 14-10 in a game that was extremely close for most of this game. Like, actually, Georgetown took an 8-7 lead into the fourth quarter of this game. And then that's when Richmond became Richmond again. They score 6 in the fourth and just drop off any hope of Georgetown upsetting them, getting a ranked win back in that win column for them, being 2-2. I mean, that's a huge game for Georgetown. Georgetown could have left 2-2. Instead, they leave 1-3. Richmond, still one of many undefeated teams in the country, along with Sacred Heart, who beat Merrimack this weekend 12-10. Did you get any glimpse of the Georgetown-Richmond game at all?
No, but I saw people were talking about it on Twitter. I know there was a big debate about, I mean, you brought it up, about Richmond being top 2, maybe not 2, and where they should be ranked and all that. I am curious to hear your thoughts on that, because I do look at their schedule and I'm kind of like, are they top 2? Or do they just have a really easy schedule right now?
Is that really an easy schedule, though?
Well, that's why I'm asking you, because
Like,
I've seen arguments going both ways.
Right. In my opinion, I don't feel like it's really that easy of a schedule. Like, I know some people are feeling like teams are benefiting in the rankings because of like their name or like what they did the season before or anything. But first off, how about let's continue to put lacrosse in the same rooms that we put other sports in? Every other sport does that. 9 times out of 10, the team that wins the national championship is what? The number 1 team in the country at the beginning of the next season. Teams that were making it far in the tournament, lost a couple guys, retained talent, they're normally ranked pretty high. Okay, so who cares if Cornell wasn't as good as they were last year, but they're ranked at the moment? That's what every other sport does. At the end of the day, Richmond has ranked wins, a handful of ranked wins. And in fact, if we want to be honest here, they would have had a win over the number 1 team in the country before they lost that if they would have played week 1 against Maryland. I think this Richmond team would have beat that Maryland team. And then what? Are we saying that isn't a good enough win because of how bad Maryland is now? They still had to go out and beat the number 1 team. It's still a ranked win at the moment. In my opinion, if you beat a team when they were ranked, that is a ranked win. I don't care what they do after that. That was a ranked win, and it should always go down as a ranked win because at the time of the game, they were ranked. And their rank at the time should matter. If you beat the number 1 team, no matter when they were the number 1 team, that should matter. If you beat the number 5 team, regardless of when they were the number 5 team and what ranking they are now, you beat the number 5 team in the country, and that should matter. So for anybody out there who feels like Richmond, quote unquote, hasn't proven themselves yet, I guess you can go sit in the locker room with them because they probably feel the same way. We all know how teams are. Don't get big-headed. You haven't really done anything yet. You haven't won anything. We still got more to prove. There's still people doubting us, but you ask me, they proved it. To me, there's one more game on their schedule that is more prove it than what they've already been through. And it's the current number 1 team in the country, Notre Dame, who they play on April 4th in Chicago, which I will most likely be at that game. That is the only game left on their schedule for me that says, yeah, this is a prove it game. Everything else on their schedule is basically conference play or teams that aren't on their level.
That's fair.
I definitely laughed at that whole conversation, though, as everybody was going back and forth. I was like, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I can understand both sides. The problem is, I think a lot of the people in the discussions have a few teams that are kind of probably overrated right now at the same time. So it's like I was kind of laughing at the duality of it. But I don't know. I mean, I'm with you to an extent of like it's still a ranked win. I just like, is Georgetown really that good? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think Georgetown's that good, but are they a top 20 team in the country? Yes. So they were ranked 13 at the moment. I think that was pretty accurate. And they beat the 13th best team in the country. All right. Are they going to drop a few ranks now? Maybe.
Well, they went and beat Albany on Tuesday, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, but to me, they should probably still drop to 15, 16.
I agree, but
like that's not egregious. You lost to the number 2 team in the country, okay? Like you shouldn't drop all the way out of the rankings unless they're factoring in their entire body of work, which okay, cool. Maybe they shouldn't be that high. Maybe you do drop them all the way down to 20 or unrank them because of the other collective's body of work. But also, how much are we penalizing teams for losing to ranked teams? We want to have the respect of other sports that other sports have. Other sports don't really penalize their teams for losing to ranked teams. They do, but they don't heavily penalize them. Oh my God, you're 1-3 because you lost to 3 ranked opponents, but you beat a ranked opponent? You should be ranked. That makes sense to me. And in lacrosse, they go, no, they have 3 losses. They shouldn't be ranked. They're not that good. The logic doesn't make sense to me. And maybe I've been indoctrinated by every other sport that I enjoy and watch to where that mindset now is just like how I think about sports. Fine. Fine. That's okay. Maybe I should think about sports that way. Maybe you should too. I don't even know how else to like. I think it's like asinine that we're like debating how good like where a team should be ranked because of like their opponents. They can't help their opponents. Like they can't help how they show up. You can schedule opponents that may be tougher, but then that team might come out and just lay a goose egg and have a terrible game, and then that was no real competition. But then you go and play little Sammy Joe down the street, and he's playing balls to the walls and gives you the best game of the year. But you don't know what you're going to get when you schedule a team because they have to show up and play. So why are we blaming a team and trying to quote-unquote penalize them for the way another team has shown up? That's stupid. I wasn't even supposed to go on that kind of rant. Look what you did. Look what you did.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to clip for him right here. You didn't have to say a word. I just asked a question. Facts. I will say, regardless, because I talked about this on the run out as well, and where I'm like, I can see if you want to argue the schedule thing, I can understand why people make that argument. I also said though, I do think Richmond is one of the more complete teams as of now. Like some of these games that I watch, I'm like, clearly one side of the ball is like way better than the other, and that's not going to get them very far. Whereas when you were talking about Richmond early on, I was like, all right, let me at least pay attention. And they're taking care of business week in and week out. So from that perspective, like I'm not mad at it at all. If people want to say they're like top 2, top 1 team,
yeah. Plus
they're 6-0. So like, unless you're playing a bunch of high schoolers, like there's still college lacrosse teams that are D1 and you have to go play. So,
and they didn't fill their schedule with Ionia and Mercyhurst and Wagner and Hampton and like VMI, like the teams at the bottom. Like they're playing ranked opponents on a regular because they also understand that's the respect they need if they want to get not an auto bid. Because, like, yeah, they're playing in the A10. You can't just play a bum non-conference schedule, go in the A10, maybe lose a game, and think you're going to just walk into the NCAA tournament. They're going to look at you stupid. But you go out there, you beat a bunch of ranked teams, and maybe lose a game, which I don't even see them losing a game in the A10. I don't.
No. The only one I question literally is Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's the one game I see on their schedule that could be an issue for them. The rest of them are literally bare bones. Like, all they got to do is show up and do what they've done all year.
And they're all at home
and
for
it's
the most
theirs
part,
to
too.
lose. Yeah, they play a ton of home games this year. Like, things are very much in the favor of the Spiders this year. I think, like you said, they're one of the most complete teams. Like, their defense has, like, they have 4 potential All-Americans on their team. They have a Toraton final or watch list player on their team. They're most likely going to have multiple all A10 players on this team. You can see, like, the two sides of the ball feed off each other. When one part might be struggling, the other picks up that slack, plays a little bit better, and then all of a sudden that other side of the ball goes, damn, my teammates over there are working very hard for me, making sure that this game stays winnable for us. I should do something about it. And then all of a sudden, bang. Like, that's exactly what happened with the Georgetown game. The offense started very well. Like I said, it was 8-7 at half, 7-6, something like that. And they were in it. They were playing fine. And all of a sudden, third quarter was just horrendous for them.
Yeah.
Horrendous. They scored 1 goal. And you could almost see the switch flip at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Like, it's almost like the defense went to them in the huddle in between quarters and went, yo, y'all just fucked us for an entire 15 minutes. Like, are you going to help us now? And then all of a sudden they just decided to help. And they pour in 6 goals, and then it was like they had no problems playing the entire game in the first place. Those are the kind of teams that make me excited. And I think Richmond has all the pieces, like I said last week, to not only be at championship weekend, but in the championship game on Memorial Day. They have the pieces to be there. It's just a factor of how the dice will land and if they are going to be able to say, hey, we're playing on Monday.
It's good confidence.
I love the confidence. I love it. This weekend was, like we said, pandemonium. Manhattan over Lemoyne, 12-11 in overtime. Yale over Fairfield, 15-14 in overtime. Massachusetts beat Vermont 7-6. UMass is 7-1. They're 19th in the country. I didn't know that. Also, Ionia continuing a catastrophically, historically bad season. First team to go 0-8 in February.
Yeah.
They're now 0-9 as they get started in March.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they lost to Canisius this weekend 10-5. Just a disgusting game all around, first off. Like, Ionia puts up 0-4-1 and 0. First off, they need to be asking themselves what the hell happened in that second quarter. They won that second quarter 4-1. Like, you need to replicate that quarterback about 20 times over this season if you want to win a couple times. I don't know what happened, but they figured it out for a quarter and were able to come out up 4-1. But I mean, you put up a 0-1-0 in 3 of your 4 quarters. There's no way you're winning that game. Like, you can just get out of here with that. Another big time game that has a lot of people scratching their heads and talking was the Battle of New Jersey. Princeton was the host this year, took down the visiting Scarlet Knights 20-9. Rutgers falls to 5-2. Princeton improves to 4-1. this is where more of that conversation about Richmond came in. Is like, is Princeton better than Richmond? Some people are saying, looking at the eye test, I trust Princeton more than I trust Richmond. Some are even saying they trust Princeton more than they trust Notre Dame. And I'll let you answer on where you stand on that before I throw in a little more on my side piece, but I think most people know how I'm feeling.
I mean, I took Princeton to win it all, so I'm obviously biased, especially because I took them as like a half joke of just like, I feel like of all the teams that could come in and upset, like it's got to be them, and they've continued to look good throughout. But I'm not going to go back on myself, so I have to say, like, is Rutgers the toughest opponent Princeton could be playing right now? The answer is no. And this game proved it. Like, it's not a shot. That's just what it is. So that's the reason why I wouldn't be upset if someone was tried to argue that Richmond is a better team than Princeton. Because again, I do think how you win matters. Like, if you're winning 1-goal games every single week, those wins are awesome until they're not. Mm-hmm. But when you're winning by 4, 5, 6, whatever it is consistently, like at that point it's kind of like, does it really matter who you're playing to the same?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And also Notre Dame, like their record's good. I get it. They're a good team, but something about them to me just doesn't feel as good as Princeton.
Don't say
is.
Something. We know what it is. The offense.
I mean,
their offense looks terrible this year.
Yeah,
their offense looks really bad. Like,
I don't know. They're going to be a good team. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just
they're well coached.
Yeah,
and they're working together. That's one thing I can't say is the offense is continuing to work together. They move the ball around. They look for the open guy. They take good shots. They just don't can them. That's all I can say about that. I actually think I'm excited to talk about their matchup this weekend. I think it's one that might be a little closer than some people will think, and it's mainly based off of the defense they'll be going against this weekend and how that will factor into things. But I'm glad you brought that game up because there isn't much to talk about with Princeton and Rutgers. No. We'll jump to that game real quick. Notre Dame comes out victorious 9-8, and what I'll say is one of the slowest, ugliest, nastiest, most on brand for Notre Dame, Ohio State. Like, as a Michigan fan, it just was like, you guys are reiterating every reason why I hate y'all. Just want y'all to know that. You suck, and this is terrible. I don't want to watch this. That's just how I felt. But it was a very competitive game. The energy was high. The emotion was there. You could see the physicality, the speed, the aggression. You could see all of that being played, and you could see it come out as they were playing. So I don't want anyone to think that this wasn't a high-level lacrosse game, because it was. But at the same time, these teams should be putting up more than a 9-8 game. And it wasn't because their defenses shined. It was because the offenses looked bad on both sides, in my opinion. There was some good goalie play in this as well, but I mean, Ohio State was the epitome of consistency. 2s across the board for the entire game. Did you catch a glimpse of this game? Highlights, discourse?
I didn't get to watch it, but I was monitoring it. To me, and I think I may have even said it last week, of like, this was a game I feel like Ohio State was going to be tested in compared to their other matchups, and just that this is a game they got to figure out a way to win. So to see it come down to 1 goal, and then just looking at the box score, I still like it to a degree, just because I think of where Notre Dame is regarded right now. It's like, okay, you took them to the brinks, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, you go 2 for 5 on the man up. I know that's 40%, which probably isn't awful, but I don't know. And like you were saying, it's 9-8. I mean, even when it's a high level game overall, you'd like to see a few more goals. And realistically, I would like to see Ohio State's defense lock down and lock in more throughout the game. Like they did such a good job quarters 1, 2, and 3, and they get to quarter 4 and you give up 4 goals and you lose by 1. So I don't think I feel any worse about Ohio State than I did, before the game, but it's like one of those like, man, like you're gonna look back at that and be like, that one got away.
I 100% agree. This was one that Ohio State had within their grasp multiple times within this game. They could have taken momentum multiple times within this game. They could have ran away with this game multiple times, and they just kept doing small things that kept the door open for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame came in and stole it. That's one thing you can't do. Notre Dame is very well coached. Kevin Corrigan has been there for what feels like forever, because it is forever, and he has done a great job of instilling a foundation that works for their team, and the culture there is fantastic. Guys come in ready to work, ready to fall in, ready to be a part of history. They work hard and they're disciplined, and they take advantage of the opportunities that are put in front of them. So if you leave the door open for them to be in a game and win it, they will do exactly that. And I think that's really what this game came down to, is just Notre Dame making a few more plays than Ohio State. But I didn't feel comfortable leaving this game, as you just mentioned, like we were talking about with the whole Princeton comparison, and why I think Richmond and Princeton should probably be above Notre Dame in the rankings, is because these teams are like, Princeton to me is a tad less complete than Richmond. And I say that because I think Richmond is more complete off the fact that they're playing for the guy next to them. That's what it is for me. To me, that makes you more complete than anything, because now you have the skill to compete at this level, but you don't want to let the guy next to you down that bad that you're going to go the extra step, the extra mile, the extra whatever to not let that guy down. To me, that's stronger than any kind of skill that is out there. But I think Princeton is more complete skill-wise than Richmond. Their skill at goalie, their skill in the defensive unit, on the offense, it's above Richmond's. But Richmond's willingness to play for the guy next to him almost puts them on the exact same level as Princeton. So it's really hard for me to say who should be 1 and 2 between them. But I think Notre Dame should be 3 behind the both of them, because they're not a complete team, in my opinion. This game proved it, but at the end of the day, they came out with the win. It's against a top 6 opponent. They're probably going to remain at 1 until they lose. It makes sense. At the same time, I dislike it. You don't see too many teams move off of the 1 seed when they're there unless they lose. That's across like all sports, so I'm not going to complain about it here like it should be any different, because I just made a whole argument 20 minutes ago how we need to be more synonymous with other sports. So I'm not going to go back on that. A team that also had a little bit of issues early in the game, North Carolina and Brown. I mean, this one was much different. North Carolina comes out 19-7. They were up 8-4 at halftime, and really that was once they finally got going. This game was 4-3 at the end of 1, and North Carolina, it took them a while for their offense to really get in a groove and be able to play and have success. And then they burst out for an 8-1 third quarter, which really is where they went away, pulled away in this game. Because at that point, it was 16-5, like at the end of 3. And it was no joke no question that they were going to win that game. Another game that had a lot of people talking this past weekend, Penn State and Cornell. This was one that made a lot of people kind of question Richmond, because Richmond beat Cornell in overtime, and Penn State throttled Cornell. But Penn State has also had their issues this year, because they're 4-2, and their losses are questionable losses. So now everybody is like, well, what's going on? How good is this team compared to that team? First off, transitive property does not exist in sports. I don't know how many times we have to say this, but because one team beat a team doesn't mean that another team will beat that team. And also, just because a team lost to a team doesn't mean that they're worse than another team that a team beat. Y'all have to understand that these things are not synonymous. To the point that I made earlier, you don't know what team is going to show up until they show up. The Cornell team that showed up and played Richmond is not the Cornell team that just played Penn State on Saturday. They're two very completely different teams. They're the same people, same physical human beings, but the way that they showed up and played, completely different teams. So no, I'm not going to punish Richmond for playing the best version of Cornell that decided to show up and play them because the worst version of them decided to show up and play Penn State. Richmond can't control that. Cornell can control that. I can say Cornell looked really bad. I should say Cornell shouldn't be the 7th seed anymore. I should say Cornell should drop in the rankings and they need to figure out what's going on. But I'm also not going to say Penn State got lucky. I'm not going to say any other team that's played Cornell isn't as good as we thought they were, because that's not true. We just got a bad version of Cornell. Penn State played a very good game, went out and handled their business and executed and won big because a team was playing bad. Great on them. Move them up in the rankings because they proved that they went out, that they can go out and handle business like they should. Did you get any of that discourse? What are your opinions on this Cornell Penn State game? How do you? I don't even think I really asked you how you feel about the whole rankings thing and how that plays out too.
I mean, I said after I watched Cornell here that I didn't feel like they were that good of a team to be ranked as high as they were.
Mm-hmm.
I said at the beginning of the year on one of the shows that I find rankings to be dumb in general because the top 10, they care too much about who you played, and the 11 through 20, they don't care enough about it. And you start seeing teams kind of throughout the season move up and down between the two, and all of a sudden then we'll use one argument for one team and then completely flip that for another. Like even Cornell right now, where I don't feel like they're as good as their ranking may say they are, but they also lost to Richmond, who we're now saying is a top 2 team by 1 goal, right? This is a bad loss. I'm not defending this loss. You lose by 12. That's awful. But at the same time, like you're saying, like some days you just don't got it. It's just, like if this game was played again today, do they lose by 12? Probably not. So that's why I don't really take rankings to be too serious overall. As far as down to the literal number. If it's a ranked win, I think we can all kind of probably come to a consensus on 20 teams and say these, or at least 19 of them, whatever. But I just would like to see more out of Cornell, especially after making the natty last year.
I was gonna say if you took everybody who's deeply interested in lacrosse and told them to rank the top 20 college teams, 15 would be the same in some way. We might not all have them ranked in the same number, but we'll have probably 15, 16 teams that are on every single list. And then there's somewhere between 4 to, or 4 or less that are different on everybody's list.
And so even then, those last 4 could be realistically I feel like they deserve to shout. But I could see this other team over here could be that spot. And
exactly. It's so subjective, but there's also clear distinctions of teams that should be in certain places.
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely.
That's 100% how I feel on that. Another ranked matchup, 10 and 11. Syracuse went to Baltimore, took on Johns Hopkins. Hopkins drops to 4-2. Hughes is up to 5-2 now after a 12-8 victory in which Joey Spallina absolutely dominated this game. I believe 7 points for him. Double check me on that. But I think he had 4 goals, 3 assists.
7.
Yep. I mean, when you're getting 7 points from arguably the best attackman in the country, it's really hard to lose games, no matter who you're playing. But I do want to point Orgelinus, phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. He's a big part of the reason why Hopkins even had a chance in this game. He was unreal in net, did a phenomenal job of getting in front of shots, making it hard for shooters, cutting down their angles, forcing them to pick their shots well. And at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. But he made the day tough for that Hughes offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any loss is ever a good loss, but if you're going to lose to Hughes, this is probably how you want to do it in general. I mean, they had their chances. They took 53 shots. Like, you got 20 more shots than Syracuse, and you lost. Your defense can't do very much if the offense isn't putting the ball in the back of the net. It's just a fact. The fact that Syracuse was 24 for 33 shots on goal compared to 22 of 53 is absolutely wild. So Hopkins obviously needs to clean that stuff up. You can't have 2 quarters with 1 goal when your opponent's getting 4 and 5. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know a couple weeks ago when Syracuse they were 3-2, if I'm not mistaken, and there was definitely some questions being asked about them.
Yep.
And those questions suddenly look a lot like overreactions. So,
I mean, it was February. It was February.
We did say don't overreact in February, and a lot of us still did it. So
a lot of people still did it. Boston University took down Lehigh 14-13 in overtime. A lot of overtime and upsets this weekend. Cleveland State over St. Bonaventure 12-11 in overtime. Harvard absolutely smacked Michigan around 17-7, especially with Michigan putting up a 0 spot in the fourth quarter. It was not a great day for the boys in maize and blue. But Harvard improves to 5-0. They're up to 4th in the country. They look great as well. Like, I mean, I don't want to count them out, but this is looking like one of those weird Ivy League years where there's going to be like 4 or 5 Ivy League teams in the tournament, and one of them just might win it based off what we're seeing early. Like, you know, even Penn is starting to put it together a little bit over there as well. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on those Ivy League teams. Another upset went down this weekend. Townsend over Virginia, 13-9. Did you catch any of this game or the discourse?
I heard some discourse. I know I had my own discussion about it. Just because I Virginia, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay, but I just wanted to make sure all of a sudden I had like I just zoned out for a sec. They're a team that I think was very overhyped coming into the year. And initially, you know, they win that game 19-14 to Colgate. And I said, it's a win, it's a good win, but that's a lot of goals you allowed. And then they went and played Richmond. And, okay, you lost to number 8 Richmond. Like, it's a ranked loss, whatever, but you gave up 18. And then, like, slowly but surely, they just keep, like, looking worse and worse outside of the High Point game. I mean, I didn't get to watch this game, so maybe someone who did can tell me that Towson was just dominant the whole time. But this is like, to me, just such a, hey, we overreacted, and now the team actually literally cannot live up to that hype because we can't stop anybody defensively.
Yes.
That's every time I think of Virginia now, that's all I think about, which sucks because you want, like, in my mind, they have the offensive firepower to put up a bunch of goals and win a bunch of games. But for whatever reason, like, neither is really happening. I mean, they have a couple games where they're scoring well, but I don't know, man.
That's exactly what I was going to say is they literally, like, their offense is great and should be able to have no problems at all. Instead, here we are, they're having problems.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like they feel a lot of pressure. They feel like they have to score a lot of goals or they have to make a lot of their opportunities count because their defense isn't helping them. It's a tough place to be. I get it. But at the end of the day, you still have to perform, and they're just not performing.
Yeah. Well, and especially like when that first half, let's just be honest, their defense was atrocious. You give up 9 goals, like that's. But then the second half, like for all things considered, their defense kind of locked in, especially that fourth quarter. So at what point does then the offense step up and say, okay, like we're talking about earlier, we have to reward the defense now and do our part, and to completely fall off a cliff like they did and put up a 0 spot in the fourth quarter, that can't happen. Like it wasn't like they got killed on possessions or extra man opportunities or whatever. Like they got to turn it around and fast, because it's just every time I see them play, I see highlights, I see people talking about, I'm just like, it's the same outcome every time, I feel like.
Wrapping up the men's version of our recap in D1 Tuesday night. Did you see the clip of the overtime game and how it ended?
For St. Bonaventure?
No. Which also, I completely forgot about that one.
Or you're talking about Navy?
I'm talking about Navy. St. Bonaventure did beat Canisius 10-11 in overtime. That was also a phenomenal game. But Navy Jacksonville, one of the most even games you will ever see. After 1, 2-2. Halftime, 3-3. After 3, 6-6. At the end of regulation, 9-9. Scoreboard was literally 2-1, 3-3 for both sides across the board.
I just watched the OT winner.
Do you see that? If that's not Brian Walker's pole goal of the week, we got a problem. We got a problem if that's not Brian's pole goal of the week. Because homie dislodges dude, takes it away from 2 people.
Oh, man, dude.
And then runs down and just launches an absolute cannon into the net.
That is so
For game? For game. You did that in overtime to win the game. You're insane.
And they played like quite a long time in OT too.
Yes.
Based on the score.
This is minutes into OT. This isn't like just like, 30 seconds in, bang, things over. No, this is minutes into OT.
Dude, that's so sick. Just watched it like 17 times.
It's so hard not to like it. It is such an amazing play from the beginning to the end.
Also, is Jacksonville just addicted to losing like 1-score games?
Dog.
I need to look up their schedule because we haven't talked about them in a minute, but
they basically won or lost every game by 1.
Like
they are
lost by 1, lost by 1, blowout, lost by 6, won by 11, big win, and then lost. So literally half their schedule has been decided by 1 goal.
All of their losses are 1-goal losses.
Yeah,
they're 3-4,
and 2 of them are overtime.
Single one of
the only loss that wasn't was Duke, which was a 6.
And you know what's crazy? Is they could be like, what is it? What would that make them? 6-4 or 6-1, 6-2?
6-1. If we're assuming they still lose to Duke.
Yeah. If they win all the 1-goal games, they're 6-1, and they're probably ranked.
Even if they just win one of them, they're 4-3.
Especially because one of those games is North Carolina, who was ranked like 3rd at the time or something crazy like that when they played them. And Rutgers was ranked when they played them, and they took them to the brink too.
Yeah, they played 3 ranked matchups.
You win 1 or 2 of those, You win if they win all their 1-goal games, they're 6-1. That is an insane parallel universe. There's some parallel universe out there where they are 6-1. And they're probably like the 10th best team in the country.
Seriously.
I'm trying to live in that parallel universe. Let's get that next year. Looking at some of the other things that happened on the men's side of the lacrosse world. Adrian beats Otterbein 14-9 on Friday. Keene goes down in overtime to your Sinus 14-13. Calvin wins in overtime over Worcester 14-13. Kalamazoo lost to Southwestern 11-4. Hope beat the pants off of Carthage 15-3. My Jesus. Alma won 8-3 over Marion. D3 was popping this weekend. There were a couple other big time games. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, Calvin over Carthage too, 13-10. Calvin off to a great start this year. I hate Calvin. Mount Union over Hanover, 17-10. Also, congratulations to a coach that I coached with during summer ball, Talon Osman, plays for the Mount Union Raiders, D3. He is the fastest men's lacrosse player in Mount Union history to get to 100 career points. He also was the OAC Offensive Player of the Week this week, and he made the USILA D3 Team of the Week. So congratulations, Tal. Continue to do your thing down there. Keep balling. Nines all around the chat for my boy, Tal. Dickinson over Stevenson, 12-9. Where are the games I'm looking for? RPI over MIT, 17-10. Baldwin Wallace beat Grove City 10-8. Salisbury beat York 10-7. Hope over Worcester 14-6. Lynchburg over Denison 14-13. That was huge. That was a ranked loss for Denison, but one that they were expecting to win. Arcadia 11-8 over Chapman. Tufts over Amherst 15-8. Our boys at Centenary continue to do it. They won 21-7 this weekend.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know how.
Is one of them up for the tour time?
I think so. I think one of them did. No. It's the kid at Christopher Newport.
Man, all right. What do we got to do to get these guys some recognition here? All right.
They have to play better competition.
They have to move divisions.
They got to do something because you're just not putting up those kind of numbers against quality competition.
I say at the end of the year, whoever's the favorite to win the Tourathon, their team has to go play them, and that game's to decide who wins the Tourathon. If they drop those points against that Division I program,
then you got to give them the Tourathon. I like where your head is right now.
Just saying that can make this so much more entertaining.
I like where your head is right now. Albion beats Southwestern 12-11. Christopher Newport over Ohio Northern 20-6. Wesleyan over RIT. That was the other one I was looking for. Wesleyan took down RIT 12-11. So a lot of big time upsets in the D3 ranks this week. Anything else I want to look at here before we take a quick look at D2?
Yeah, there's a nice little game there, D2, Saturday.
There's a couple games D2 I want to peek in on. Wednesday the 11th. We have some scores put in already. Some of them are not. Our Centenary boys played today as we're recording on Wednesday this week. They're playing Heidelberg. It's a pretty decent squad in the Ohio area. So in the Ohio area, in Ohio, I shouldn't say area.
Inside the borders of Ohio.
Kalamazoo beat Alma 11-3 as the MIAA is getting started. Oh, Salisbury put the works on our who was that? Ohio Northern 16-7. Cortland over Nazareth 19-7. Hope over Illinois Tech 13-2. Albion over Dubuque 16-5. Yeah, where do you want to start D2?
The boys Lees McRae. 19-9 dub over Mars Hill.
A Dubski for the boys?
Yep. One more in there at 500.
Okay, Lees.
You know,
They're starting to put it together the last couple weeks.
I mean,
now.
is Mars Hill 1-5? Yeah, but you know what?
Hey,
a win is a win.
A dub is a dub.
They don't ask how you got it. They just ask how many you got.
Exactly. You are exactly right about that. If it was it Saturday. Oh, Newberry over Lenore Ryan 16-15. St. Leo took down Flagler 17-7. Oh, yep. Anderson, South Carolina took down Tampa 14-13 in overtime. Huge game. As Tampa was the number one seed, and our number one team has been for a very long time, has been basically running D2. That was a huge win for Anderson as it shakes things up. Lewis wins big over Lynn 22-6. D2 was pretty chalk this weekend, as many people expected. Adelphi over Seton Hill 10-3. I feel like D2 is the most like chalk division of all time. Like there are almost never upsets in D2. It's like the team that's supposed to win wins. And I'm like, I just don't get why you put yourself through that. Like if you're not playing on like Lenore Rhine, Tampa, or what's the other one I was just talking about?
Salisbury?
No, they're D3. God damn it.
Oh, you're right.
Adelphi. If it's not Tampa, Lenore Ryan, or Adelphi, you kind of are just hanging out. Hoping not to play one of those three teams in the playoffs, and maybe you get far. Like, what are we doing here? Just go play D3 ball. Or take your chances and bump up to D1. But, like, you're killing yourself there, man. You're killing yourself. Get out of there. Go do something better with yourself than that. Going through chalk every single weekend. Women's lacrosse this weekend, totally different landscape. Stony Brook continues to be a top 10 program, taking down Denver 12-11 in overtime. Great game there. Denver drops to 5-1. Stony Brook improves to 4-1. Michigan wins big over Central Michigan, 23-3. Actually, a record-setting day for them. Most amount of goals they put up ever in a game. Started off with a 9-1 spot in the first. At halftime, it was 14-2, and they didn't let up from there. Poured in 5 in the third, another 4 in the fourth, and taking control of that game with no questions. North Carolina continues to be dominant, and the Humphrey sisters are ridiculous. They win that game over Pitt 19-3. By the way, Pitt was the number 22 team in the country. So they're doing that against ranked opponents. Richmond ladies starting to put it together too. 4-2 for the season on them. 15-6 15-6, 15-6 over VCU this weekend.
Hang on. You said Pittsburgh is ranked 22nd?
Yeah.
And they got beat 19-3?
Dog, they didn't even score till the third quarter.
Nah, unrank them. What are we doing?
Like, dog, it was 5-0 after 1, 13-0 after 2, 17-1 after 3, 19-3 at the end of the game. Like, they got dog walk this weekend.
Hey, props to UNC. Holy.
Granted, they're playing the number one team in the country, and the Humphrey sisters are insane, but still. Stony Brook takes another loss on Sunday. I love the fact that women's teams play so much more than the men's. They're playing 2-3 games in a week. I love it. We need to get the men's side to that. Play on a Wednesday, play on a Sunday. Play on a Friday.
As long as they can make it work to play like at nighttime. That's my only complaint about the women's schedule right now is they play at like noon on a Wednesday. And it's like I can't make that work. Play at like 6:30 or 7.
Like literally your favorite women's team is playing on a Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Dog, you know how many times I've like taken my lunch break at work and I'm like, well, let me see what's on Twitter. Oh, the women are playing right now. Oh, it's the third quarter. I'm like, what?
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
I mean, get your games in when you can, I guess, but like, come on, man. The men aren't playing during the week at night, so come on.
They do not care when they play. They're going to play.
Yeah.
Clemson, who apparently Alexa Spallina is the truth from what we heard from our sources. They take down Notre Dame 13-9 in a ranked matchup this weekend on Sunday. Michigan also wins a very close ranked matchup over Colorado as Michigan improves to 5-2. Colorado drops to 4-2. They win that game 8-7. Both these teams putting up a 0 spot. Michigan's was in the third quarter. Colorado in the fourth. Those bookends. You can't drop 0 bombs in the bookends. Stanford got tested this weekend as well. Taking on number 24 Duke, winning 11-10 over Duke. And they proved me wrong. They put up a 0 spot in the first quarter, and then they bounced back to have 4 spots in the 2 and 3 quarters, and then 3 more goals in the fourth quarter, and they win at 11-10. I got to stop having takes because my takes are always wrong. Just saying. I got to get that together. But yeah, that was the week that was. As always, going to ask you, where are you going to be this weekend as we prepare to kick off talking about the week that is coming up?
Nowhere on the weekend. Just Monday when Syracuse comes to town. I will be at Peter Barton for that game. Air Force, unfortunately, plays Syracuse at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So that's not happening because taking a page out of the women's book, I guess, for that one. So won't be there for that. Nothing else Saturday. So I'm excited. We've had a good run here of really good teams come to Colorado I know Michigan's not, the best right now, but it's a big time school with them. Duke, Syracuse at this point, Cornell. So I'm excited. I don't think I've ever seen Spallina play live either. So this is the first time.
Ooh, that'll be fun for you, for sure. Yeah. Like looking excited to seeing those selects when they pop out. Moving into this week, gonna hit through D3 really quick. Those of you that are aware, giving the flowers as we always do, and wishing that at least me, could be at this event. The Callum Robinson Mustang Classic is going to be this weekend out at Stevenson. As we know, longtime player there, several years in the MLL and PLL, NLL, and then tragically lost his life in an attack a few years ago. So May he continue to rest in peace, but also getting his honor with what is going to be an amazing weekend of games. Dickinson and St. Lawrence, Gettysburg and RIT, Christopher Newport and Lynchburg, Washington and Lee against Stevenson, and then Denison against Tufts. That's the first round of games that'll be played through on Friday night. On Saturday in D3, happening around the country, King takes on Merchant Marine. Adrian plays Oberlin. St. Vincent has Susquehanna. I hate saying that name because I can't talk, by the way, if y'all haven't figured that out yet.
I don't think anyone can say that name, to be fair.
Yes, but I also just can't speak in general. Tryon plays Edgewood. Stevens plays Union. Dickinson plays Denison. Grove City and Kenyon. Alma plays Earlham. Ohio Wesleyan and York. Scranton and Cortland. Centenary plays Spalding, who's not very good. Hope and Elmhurst. Calvin and Colorado College. That's all on Saturday. On Sunday, nothing crazy. Mount Union and Franciscan wrap things up for us D3 wise on Monday. Looking at the women's slate for this upcoming week. Loyola Maryland and Army, 12 p.m. on ESPN Plus on Saturday. Pittsburgh and Boston College, ACC Extra, 12 p.m. on Saturday. Richmond ladies ranked this week at 25. They take on Rhode Island, noon, ESPN Plus. Notre Dame coming in at 12, playing second-ranked Stanford, 9 p.m. ACC Extra Saturday night. 4 p.m. ACC Network, Clemson and Virginia will meet 10 and 21, respectively, in the country. More games popping off Sunday. Princeton and Penn State, 22 and 18, Big Ten Plus, at noon. Michigan plays USC, Big Ten Plus, 4 p.m. Pennsylvania and Georgetown, 1 p.m. on Sunday as well. And that's the slate for women's. What are you looking forward to? What do you see? Or I shouldn't say what are you looking forward to. We'll get to that in a moment. Anything popping out at you for this upcoming weekend for the men's slate?
Oh shoot, not D2. Hang on. I got my tabs all messed up. Here we go. I mean, again, the one I'm going to be at, Denver, Syracuse, obviously. North Carolina, Penn State, because Penn State continues to be up and down, and UNC does not. That's going to be fun. Princeton, Yale, it's going to be fun. I think Navy, Hopkins could be a good one. Virginia, Maryland, kind of a battle of two teams that I think are a little
mid
and overrated, overhyped.
Facts.
And have continued to be, unfortunately. And that's Saturday. Nothing Sunday is kind of wild, and then just the one Monday. So there's definitely some good stuff on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Harvard Penn is on Saturday, ESPN Plus at noon. I think that's a great game for both of those. Penn's 3-3, but that could be a big booster for them and help them in that Ivy League slate that they're going to run. And Harvard can continue to prove that they're one of the best teams in the country with a win. I think Army and Boston U, 12 p.m. ESPN Plus is always a great game. Army's ranked, a good chance for them to bounce back, but also a great chance for Boston to continue to add to their resume as they're 4-2 at the moment. A game I wish I was going to, but I will be at state basketball championships for the state of Michigan at Michigan State. Ugh. Because my granddad asked me to take them, so that's where I'll be. So I will miss the 12 p.m. ACC Network Notre Dame Michigan game down at in South Bend at Arlotta Stadium. But that's one I would have circled as well. But yeah, like you said, really nothing too much going on this weekend. So that's going to get us right into our Riverside games of the week, which are powered by, yes, you guessed it, Riverside. We made the switch to Riverside a couple months ago. As a company, it has changed our entire productivity level on its head. From enhanced audio quality and episodes, easy-to-use editing tools, including a built-in editing bay for all of our shows on the network, and the fastest way to cut clips, segments, and funny moments for all of our shows. Plus, it is an absolute bargain compared to the competitors. Use our link in the description to get your podcast, webinars, or video projects looking and sounding pristine with Riverside. Nephew, what's your Riverside game of the week? Even though I know.
Man. I'm not saying that one.
Oh. I mean, I would have said it.
All right, I'm saying it. Denver, Syracuse. That's going to be a good one. It should be. It should be. Do I expect Denver to come out on top? Not necessarily. But I'm excited to see the star power Syracuse has in person, along with Grayson Manning and Cody Malowski, especially because the last time I saw them, they looked much improved than the previous time. I know they didn't play a team like Syracuse, but yeah, there's too much star power in this one.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. I think that's one that people should definitely be having their eyes on. Penn State, North Carolina is what I'm going to choose as my Riverside game of the week. Penn State's 4-2, North Carolina 6-1. They're 9-5 respectively, but I also think this is a great chance for both these teams to prove how good they really are. Right? Penn State just came off a huge victory over a highly ranked team. Are you that good? North Carolina, though, has continued to win games in all kinds of fashion. They have won games close. They've blown out teams. They have been in close games and then pulled away. They have had to come from behind. They have won in every fashion so far. Now, let's see you do it again against a very good ranked team. Can you do that? And then the other one for me, like I said, I wanted to talk about it a little bit earlier. Notre Dame is playing Michigan this weekend. The best part of Michigan's team is their defense. Their offense is atrocious. I hate watching our offense sometimes. Just, oh my God, it makes me want to throw up sometimes. It's so bad. Because it's slow sometimes. It's stagnant. They take forever to like get into their set and go. Like, I just don't like some of the things that happens with it, but the defense is phenomenal. And Hunter Taylor is one of the best goalies in the country. It's the reason why they have even been able to compete in a lot of the games that they've been in so far is because the back end has been great for them. I think the back end shows up again against Notre Dame, but the question is, can your offense score enough goals? Don't know, but I do think this is a great chance for Notre Dame to prove that their offense isn't that bad because they're playing a solid defense that can make you work and really shut you down, but also if you figure out how to beat it, you can beat it consistently. So I'm really intrigued to see if Michigan's defense can shut down Notre Dame or if that offense can figure it out and start to make some people feel like they're not as bad as, quote unquote, people are saying they are. So, yeah, those are our Riverside games of the week. That's Penn State, Notre Dame, Syracuse, Denver, and Michigan. Or Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State, North Carolina, and Syracuse and Denver. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast at Underground Industries on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and then on Twitter, it is at VU Industries. Make sure you're following my nephew across from me, Hoot Sport Media, everywhere. Hoot Sport Media everywhere. And don't forget that .com. And then there's me, Uncle Deej, that you can follow on Instagram at Uncle Deej12. You can also follow me on Twitter at SCS_next great. You can find all my other socials on those platforms. Don't forget to follow the podcast, OTB Lax Pod, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. That is where you're going to find full episodes of this podcast, video form as well, but also exclusive interviews and content surrounding the PLL, NLL, WLL, college, and everything else in the lacrosse world. With that being said, that's what we got for this week. That's OTB College number 7. We will be back next week to talk more about what is happening in the crazy realm of college lacrosse. Y'all have an amazing week and enjoy this lacrosse. Peace.